The teasers dropped. The fandom held its breath. I mean, the infamous 7-year curse was just looming over the entire
It
industry.
was terrifying.
Right. And then in an instant, the entire K-pop world was turned upside down by just like a single piece of paper. Welcome to StarScope K-Report. Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
The sheer cultural whiplash of this moment really can't be overstated. Like, we are looking at an absolute masterclass in industry survival today.
Absolutely. So for this deep dive, we are unpacking the viral headline, "They All Signed," why Stray Kids almost ended yesterday.
Such a crazy headline.
Yeah. We are diving into a massive stack of official JYP investor reports, global tour statistics, and just raw netizen reactions to understand how Stray Kids beat the dreaded 7-year curse, secured a historic 5-year contract, and basically launched an era of total global domination.
I mean, to fully grasp the stakes here, you really have to understand the mechanics of the 7-year curse. This isn't just like standard fan paranoia, you know?
It's rooted in actual law.
Exactly. The South Korean Fair Trade Commission implemented a standard contract length that maxes out at 7 years. And it was originally designed to protect idols from those indefinite exploitative deals.
Which is a good thing on paper.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But an unintended side effect of that protection is this built-in expiration date. Like, when that clock runs out, a group's entire foundation just becomes incredibly fragile.
Yeah, because the standard narrative is that members start looking at their options.
Yeah.
Right? Like, some might want to push for a solo career or maybe transition to acting in K-dramas.
Where they just want out of the grueling idol lifestyle entirely, which happens a lot.
Exactly. So, as a fandom, when your favorite group approaches that 7-year mark, you're basically living in a pressure cooker.
Mm-hmm.
Every agency statement, every bubble message, every single social media update is just hyperanalyzed for clues.
It is exhausting, which brings us to the timeline for this specific, headline event. So Stray Kids debuted in March 2018 with District 9.
Right.
And under standard industry practice, their contracts were set to expire in early 2025. But then on July 18th, 2024, JYP Entertainment just dropped an absolute bombshell out of nowhere.
Yeah. They officially confirmed that all 8 members, so Bang Chan, Lee No, Changbin, Hyunjin, Han, Felix, Seungmin, and IN, had all renewed their exclusive contracts well ahead of that expiration date.
I still remember where I was when that dropped. The timeline was shaking.
Oh, I bet. And I want to frame how statistically improbable this is using the data we have. Out of over 500 K-pop groups to debut since 1996, only 9 groups in history have renewed their contracts and kept their original lineup intact without losing a single member or placing someone on indefinite hiatus.
That is a crazy statistic. Only 9.
Just 9. They joined a very exclusive elite club alongside legends like 17, BTS, and Twice. So retaining an 8-member group is just a massive statistical anomaly.
The relief from stays was just a tidal wave. Like, think about the emotional toll on a fandom bracing for a potential disbandment or a lineup change. It's intense.
For sure.
And Bang Chan, their leader, he actually spoke about this at a press conference shortly after. He stated they wanted to let stays know the good news as early as possible because the members could, quote, envision a future together. They didn't want the upcoming comeback to be clouded by anxiety.
Well, I'm going to push back here a little bit and draw a hard line in the sand on the corporate machinery at play. Because Div 1, JYP's division managing Stray Kids, isn't running a charity for fan emotions,
I mean, fair enough.
Just look at the calendar, July 18. That is exactly 24 hours before the release of their highly anticipated mini-album AE and its title track, Chick Chick Boom, on July 19.
Oh, the timing is definitely not a coincidence.
Not at all. Announcing this early was a masterful, cold, algorithmic PR play. They weaponized the fandom's relief to guarantee a massive spike in first-week physical album sales.
You're touching on the duality of K-pop right there. Like, the emotional sincerity of the artists often runs completely parallel to the ruthless efficiency of the agency.
Exactly.
Bang Chan genuinely wanted to soothe the fandom's panic, but the executives absolutely saw the financial utility in releasing that statement the literal day before pre-orders locked in. I mean, a relieved fan is a fan willing to buy 5 different album versions to celebrate, right?
Very true. The fandom's relief was palpable. But wait till you hear what netizens uncovered next, because this single piece of paper literally saved a corporation's stock market plunge. We'll unpack the $1 billion negotiation right after this.
Yeah, the underlying math of this negotiation tells a much darker story about JYP's vulnerability than anyone expected.
Let's connect that fandom emotion to the cold corporate numbers, because this was a high-stakes boardroom thriller. Based on the 2025 investor relations data, JYP Entertainment was in a highly precarious spot just prior to this announcement.
Oh, extremely precarious.
Right. A major securities company had actually downgraded JYP's target stock price, dropping it from 80,000 won down to 67,000 won.
And that downgrade was driven by a concept called IP reliance, because entertainment agencies are fundamentally intellectual property holding
The
companies.
artists are the IP.
Exactly. The artists are the IP. And the report explicitly cited JYP's heavy reliance on upcoming major contract renewals. When your primary revenue driver is approaching contract expiration, the entire valuation of your company is suddenly categorized as a massive financial risk.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, without Stray Kids, JYP's revenue projections for the next 5 years would have effectively cratered.
So then, the moment the renewal news broke on July 18th, JYP's stock completely reversed course.
Yep.
It surged 3.76% to close at 57,901.
Wow.
And looking forward to their Q2 2025 investor relations report, the financial realities of this deal are just glaringly obvious.
Yeah.
JYP reported record-high quarterly earnings.
Which is huge.
Huge. We're talking revenue of 215.8 billion Korean won. That is up 125.5% year over year.
That's just wild.
But in that same financial breakdown, there is a line item for artist fee, which is basically the payout to the talent. That artist fee skyrocketed to 64.3 billion won. That's a 209.4% jump from the previous year.
And the report specifically cites the, quote, artist contract renewal impact as the catalyst for that jump, which, to translate that from corporate jargon, initial 7-year idol contracts notoriously favor the agency, often with profit splits leaning heavily toward the company, say like a 70-30 split.
Right, the standard rookie deal.
Exactly. But when a group of this magnitude renews, that split flips. A 209% increase in artist fees is the mathematical proof that Stray Kids negotiated an astronomical, unprecedented cut of their own profits.
Think of it as a hostage negotiation, but the hostages are holding all the gold. I mean, they basically walked into that boardroom holding JYP's entire market capitalization in their hands.
They really did. And netizens caught on to this dynamic immediately. Like, if you read the raw Reddit reactions from Knets and international fans, the vindication was just palpable. Fans were joking like, damn, I should have bought their Starks back in 2022.
They really should have.
Yeah, but the ultimate bombshell regarding this leverage didn't even come from a press release. It came directly from member Hyunjin on the fan messaging app, Bubble.
Oh, what did he say?
He casually revealed that this was a 5-year contract renewal.
Wow, wait, really? A 5-year deal? Because the standard for a post-7-year renewal is only 3 years.
Exactly. To lock in a 5-year deal requires an immense amount of leverage. It is an ultra-rare industry anomaly reserved only for undeniable earners.
That's incredible.
It is. And we have to look at the mechanics of why they had this leverage, because 3R ECHA holds the architectural blueprints to their entire discography. JYP couldn't just swap them out or farm their sound to outside producers.
Right. Bang Chan, Changbin, and Han actually produced the music.
Yes. They hold the intellectual property leverage. They likely marched in and demanded significantly better touring revenue splits and absolute creative control over their future projects.
And there's also the timeline of South Korean mandatory military enlistment to consider here. Factoring in their ages, a 5-year contract provides an umbrella over that impending enlistment era, right?
That's such a good point.
Yeah, it ensures that as members begin to serve, the group's overarching brand remains stabilized under one agency, basically preventing the fragmentation that usually destroys older groups.
And you can actually see the emotional weight of this negotiation playing out in their behind-the-scenes content. Like, during a variety shoot, Changbin was seen randomly turning to Bang Chan and earnestly thanking him for his leadership during those meetings.
Oh, wow, that's heavy.
It is. The pressure on the leader to secure a favorable deal for all 8 members against a massive corporate entity must have been absolutely staggering.
It really must have been. And hey, if you love staying updated on the business machinations behind your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger KT scoops ahead.
Seriously, hit subscribe. Because the boardroom politics dictate what we actually see on stage, which makes understanding these contracts crucial for any serious fan.
They secured the bag and the creative freedom.
Yeah.
But that's not even the wildest part of this comeback. Later in the Deep Dive, we'll talk about how this new contract led to a world tour that broke records nobody saw coming.
The dominant era.
Yes.
It wasn't just a clever tour title, it was a literal mission statement for their new contract cycle.
Let's transition into how they actually funded that massive new artist fee. Because at the press conference announcing the renewal, Lee Know made a distinct promise.
What did he promise?
He said they would visit stays all over the globe with a completely evolved vibe. And they definitely delivered on that with the dominant world tour, running from August 2024 through October 2025.
Such a massive tour.
Massive. I have the statistics right here from the tour logs and the JYP IR reports. The tour grossed $185.9 million in 2025 alone.
My jaw just dropped.
Right. They sold 1.3 million tickets across North America, Latin America, and Europe. Overall, an estimated 2.2 million people attended.
Visualizing 2.2 million people is just staggering. Like, the scale of this operation requires an infrastructural leap that very few artists ever managed to pull off.
Exactly. Because we hear the phrase world tour thrown around constantly in K-pop. Historically, that meant 3 cities in the U.S., 2 in Japan, and Seoul.
Yeah, totally. The bare minimum.
Right. But Stray Kids became the first K-pop act in history to perform at massive venues like Rogers Stadium in Toronto, Wrigley Field in Chicago, and the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. How does a group mathematically and logistically make the jump from arenas to 40,000-seat stadiums?
Well, you don't get booked at Wrigley Field unless you have bulletproof data proving you can fill it. And for Stray Kids, that data came from sustained, aggressive charting. By the time this tour launched, they had released 5 RIAA gold-certified albums in the United States.
That is wild consistent.
Exactly. They had saturated the market to the point where arena demand was just spilling over. But, once you secure a stadium, the production value has to scale up massively, or the audience in the nosebleeds feels entirely disconnected.
Which they handled perfectly because the stage design and styling went viral almost immediately.
Oh, the styling was iconic.
It really was. They utilized these massive rollable doors for backdoor to physically manipulate the space on stage, shrinking and expanding the performance area dynamically.
Yeah, the opening sequence was literal cinematic theater. They were bathed in this intense lighting, wearing beige and white glittering outfits heavily inspired by Greek and Roman draping. Like, visuals were insane.
They looked incredible.
And they opened with mountains, transitioned directly into thunderous, and followed up with J-Jam. The energy was feral, yet the execution was immaculately polished. Adding a live band and complex camera work elevated the entire set from a standard Idol concert to a global stadium headliner experience.
But a tour running from August 2024 to October 2025 faces the danger of becoming static, right? Because fandoms consume content so rapidly on social media that a set list can feel stale after 3 months.
Right. Which is why the pacing strategy they used to combat that was brilliant. Initially, the tour featured unreleased solo tracks from all the members, ensuring everyone had an individual spotlight.
Which the fans loved.
Oh, they ate it up. But then as they transitioned into the Latin American leg in March 2025, they revamped the entire set. They swapped out the solos for highly anticipated subunit tracks.
Oh, that's where?
Yeah. Suddenly, the Maknae IN and Changbin were performing Burnin' Tires. The sheer chaos of that switch-up sent the internet into overdrive. It really rewarded the hardcore fans who track every single tour stop online.
And the cultural footprint of this tour extended way beyond the stadiums.
Yeah.
The Empire State Building lit up to celebrate their arrival in New York, along with their philanthropic partnership with Musicians on Call. Such a cool moment. Yeah. And for the fans who couldn't secure a ticket, they expanded into the theatrical space. They released a concert film, Stray Kids, The Dominant Experience, which was filmed at SoFi Stadium. It hit theaters globally in February 2026 and pulled in $20 million worldwide.
Pulling a $20 million box office for a concert film is straight-up blockbuster territory. It proves their monetization channels are completely diversified at this point.
Absolutely. So hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update on historic milestones like these, because the ceiling for global Hallyu expansion just keeps getting pushed higher and higher.
The most fascinating part for me is tracing all of this stadium-level dominance, the box office numbers, the stock surges, all of it, just back to that one piece of paper signed in July 2024.
It brings us to a final thought for you to ponder as we wrap up this deep dive. Stray Kids didn't just survive the 7-year curse. They completely weaponized it.
Literally weaponized it.
They took the maximum point of anxiety for a K-pop group and their agency, and they used it to secure a massive 5-year deal and unparalleled creative control, resulting in the most lucrative era of their careers.
So true.
So as fourth and fifth generation groups start approaching their own contract renewals in the coming years, will Stray Kids' unprecedented 5-year, highly leveraged negotiation become the new gold standard that idols demand from their agencies?
I think the power dynamic between artists and corporations might have just permanently shifted. Groups who write their own music are going to look at this blueprint and realize their agencies need them far more than they need their agencies.
We will be watching those ripple effects closely. You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.